Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the 143. This is under review. We're coming at you live with episode 164.
Yes, sir. Spring training has been in action the last few weeks or so, and that just means that the baseball season is creeping up and slowly coming upon us, which we are excited for here at Under Review.
Yeah, it is high time we get some baseball back in America. With football being over, you're just ready for the next thing, and that is baseball. Rangers are looking good this year. So, like we've said before, we're kind of wanting to do some more baseball content, more than we have in the last few years. We realize it's not the most exciting thing to everyone, but then we realize it's our show and we can talk about whatever we want. So, we'll be talking baseball, and a lot of high hopes for the Rangers this season. Coming off a pretty abysmal season, not making playoffs last year, but we're going to dive into that here in a second. Stat of the week brought to you by our sponsor, Andrews Logistics. The Los Angeles Angels, their owner came out and said they are projecting to lose $50 to $60 million on the season this year. So they are projected to not. Most teams are profiting off their season, as you should, as a successful franchise. Well, the Angels have been nothing but a dumpster fire here as of late, and because of all the money they're paying players, and the fact that they can't generate revenue through ticket sales and TV deals because they're so bad, they're going to lose $50 to $60 million on the season, Nick.
That is awful. Just perfectly
that's
encompasses the Angels franchise as a whole.
Yep.
I mean, you summed it up perfectly. Dumpster fire. They've just had nothing go right for them. They had Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout on the same team, and we're still absolutely garbage. And they're still wasting Mike Trout's talent, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But, neither here nor there. Angels are bad, will be bad, and have always been bad. That's just kind of the way things are.
That's how they do.
Player of the week, we're going to snag two for this one. Kyle Higashioka and Jake Burger, two new additions to the Rangers. Expected to play a huge role. We're looking at Jake Burger to cover at first base for Nathaniel Lowe, and then Higashioka is supposed to be a good number two catcher. Hopefully able to give Jonah Heim some days off, and he should be able to fill in and play a pretty big role. They've been pretty hot starting out in spring training. Both have been raking, hitting bombs, just looking extremely good. We're excited for these two guys to come in and play a role for this team, and we've got extremely high hopes as Rangers fans. Just with all the off-season additions that we made and all the guys we're going to be getting back due to being injured last year and being healthy, ready 100% for this season. And so we're just looking forward to the future.
Yeah, it should be an exciting year for us, hopefully. Last year was very disappointing. Coming off a World Series win, hoping to kind of at least be competitive. And the injury bug hit us pretty hard last year with just so many key starters going down in times we needed them most. The team got really hot in September, but it was too little too late. Promising things from last year were two young studs, Wyatt Langford, the rookie, and Josh H. Smith, our utility player who decided to just be a legend last year. All-star snub, but he played a phenomenal role last year in helping our team just kind of stay afloat. Both of them are back with a fire underneath them. And, Nick, we talk about it a lot. Baseball is all about the team being healthy in the right moments. And we just had so many key starters go down last year. Jonah Heim had no help either. Taking days off was tough for him because we had no real option as backup catcher till we got Carson Kelly, but by then it was already over. So, and pitching was a huge problem last year as well.
Yep, obviously one of the big names we're getting back that we really haven't seen in full action yet as Rangers fans is, Jacob deGrom, right? As soon as we got him, he pitched for about a month or so, I want to say it was,
Yeah.
before he had to undergo Tommy John surgery, and then we did not see him at all this past season, 2024, but he is expected to be ready to go, firing on all cylinders once the 2025 season rolls around. Super excited for that just because we know the talent level that he has, Cy Young winner, so we know what he brings to the table. We just got to hope we can keep him
Well, we
healthy.
paid him. We paid
Yep.
him a ton of money, so he better be healthy. And if he doesn't pitch more than a month this season, we cut him. I'm kind of tired of dealing with it. So hopefully, I mean, and they're saying that he looks good right now in the bullpens he's throwing and everything. Hopefully that's true. Hopefully he has a great season. But we need something out of him. We've paid him so much money to sit the bench the last couple of years and
Yep.
got a World Series out of it, but
He's
not
filling a
really because
spot,
of
and
him.
so he's got to start, pulling his weight a little bit.
Yeah.
Obviously, if he's 100% healthy, I think he's going to be a huge asset to the Rangers, but it's just, can he stay healthy?
I don't think he should get the day one opening. I don't think he should get the opening day start though. In my
No.
opinion, I know he's like technically our ace, but I think Nathan Eovaldi is the heart and soul of this pitching squad.
He's been the guy since he got here. I do think it would be
I think he's earned it. He's earned it.
absolutely, he was with us through thick and thin, was a huge, huge part in winning the World
Oh yeah,
Series
couldn't
when
have
we
done it.
did 2 years ago. He's been a stud for us since the day he got here, and I think he is more than earned getting the day one, start. But
Yeah,
Rangers were extremely, extremely aggressive in the offseason. We already
love to
talked
see it.
about Jake Berger, Kyle Higashioka, and then Jock Peterson. That was another
Oh yeah,
big
good
name
pickup.
signing, expected to be DHing for us.
Yep.
Adolis Garcia changed his swing again. That was kind
Not
of
sure why he did it in the first place.
a huge deal. After the 2023 season, he changed the swing, and then this offseason, he changed it again back to the way it was before, which is exactly what we wanted, right? Don't know why he
It's
changed it in the first place, because he was so dominant in the batter's box, and then for some reason just tweaked it a little bit, but should be back to normal.
It's the old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't know why he tried to tweak it after everything was going so well for him in 2023. But yeah, regardless, he should be back. I mean, he's kind of planned for his contract this season. If it doesn't work out this season, he's going to have to look somewhere else, I would imagine, or, take a lot less kind of a pay cut. But, it'll be good to hopefully have his bat hot and be back. But we've got Corey and Marcus, kind of the core of the team in the middle infield. Obviously, both of them are back ready to go. Just saw Corey Seager hit an oppo, his first home run of spring training over the weekend. So, we got to have the core guys back. Man, we really would love to see Josh Young just make it through a whole season. He was devastated last year when he went down with that wrist injury from being hit by a pitch. He's had some crazy injuries you can't really do anything about. Like, he's not injury prone. It's just the ball has been hitting him in
Bad
some
luck.
weird ways. Yeah. So, I know he's ready to be back. We've got a great young core with some good veteran guys to help him with that. We're not going to go into all the bullpen moves we've made, but we have made some really good reliever moves as well. And potentially looking at John Gray to maybe be a closer. We don't really have the closer spot solidified yet, but I think we have a number of guys that could step in and
And
take
with Jacob deGrom coming back, kind of a surplus of starters, so just kind of
Oh yeah,
trying to navigate around how we can use all of these arms to our benefit, because John Gray's a good pitcher, I think, but it's just, where would he most be valuable to us? Would that be starter, bullpen, closer, reliever? We're
I
not
don't.
sure.
I don't think starter. I think we've seen enough out of the starting spot for him, honestly. Just last season wasn't great. But when we saw him come into that reliever role,
I
kind of
was
in the
gonna
playoffs
say
and everything,
in the postseason, we kind of used him more as a,
yeah,
um, you know, eighth inning. He
deep
came in a
reliever.
couple eighth inning, pitch a couple 6/7s, fifth inning, just kind of all throughout, just more of a reliever role. And I think that's really where he kind of thrived a little bit.
I think he could get 3 outs and, in a tough spot in the ninth. I think he could be a closer. That's something we got to try, but you just never know. But, like I said, we signed a lot of good arms in the bullpen. We've been making minor league deals with guys that are playing in spring training right now. At least one GM in Dallas sports knows that he's got to do something in the offseason, and that's Chris Young. Huge props to this guy. You know what? All these moves could be awful, but at least he's making moves in the offseason. And that's more than we can say for any other GM here.
Yeah, because, last year it wasn't enough. The team we had, we saw plenty of injuries. And so
Yeah.
now he goes into the offseason and says, okay, we got to make some changes around here. Not completely revamp everything we've done over the last couple of years and bringing guys in, but just saying we need to strengthen, the foundation that we have built because we've got a good squad. All right, this is a World Series worthy team, but we just got to strengthen it a little bit. We're looking at Wyatt Langford playing a key role once again this season. He was a stud last year for us. Sophomore season inbound, looking at him. Evan Carter, still have yet to see a full season from him. He came in the back end of the 2023 season, played at the very beginning of the 2024 season, tweaked his back, and then just could not, for some reason, could not come back from it at all last year.
Yeah.
But he's looking good, or at least healthy in spring training, and so we're hoping to get a full season out of Evan Carter, just because I think that would shore up the outfield because you could have Wyatt Langford, Adolis, and then Evan Carter. Just because I don't think Leody Taveras has the talent to be our everyday center fielder. I mean,
yeah, and he's probably going to get shipped at the deadline.
Lost a little bit of juice. Last year just wasn't the same. Even that World Series year, he was just, average center fielder. Just hitting in the ninth hole. Wasn't that great defensively. Had a huge walk in Game 1 of the World Series when we needed it most. But that's really the only thing I can remember off the top of my head from Leody.
He had good Game 1 and 2 against Houston as well. Kind of when nobody else was hot, he was hot.
That's right. He had
he played
bomb.
He played a role. He played a role in 2023, but last season he was kind of nowhere to be found. And 2023 was great, but it's now 2025, and we got to do something. We want another one. All the players want another one. So hey, but if Leody comes out and he's just phenomenal, it changes all this changes with how you play. So, we'd love to see any given dude, even guys we've never heard of, come out of the minors and just blow our minds. So, it just sounds like we've got a lot of really good depth on this team. Props to Chris Young. And like we've said time and time again, Bruce Bochy will win a World Series, not make the playoffs the following year, and then win a World Series the year after that. So
that was the formula the formula when he was at San Francisco, right? They won a World Series, awful the next year, won a World Series, awful the next year, and then they won a World Series. And so, we saw 2023 World Series last season, 2024, not even a playoff appearance. We were absolutely atrocious, and so that can only mean one thing this year, World Series.
Got to be back. Yep.
Well, that was appreciate everyone listening to our little Rangers episode. Just we're underway in spring training, and we're just super excited for the baseball season. Glad that it's finally spring again, just because that means we've got 7 months, 8 months, or whatever it is of awesome baseball. Hopefully, we'll be seeing the Texas Rangers in the Fall Classic again.
Yeah, let's hope
But
so.
anyways, here's like end our shows an under review. I brought you a quote from one of the Rangers' new additions from the offseason, Sean Armstrong, who is possibly looking at maybe being a closer, reliever, for sure bullpen arm, but just don't know where that might be. And he said, our expectation is to win the World Series. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Ain't that the truth? That's what we're trying to do. And it shows from the top to the bottom, from the ownership to the players. And that's how a well-run organization should be. And that's what the Rangers are looking like right now.
Just the confidence they have in this team, from what they're seeing, from the chemistry to the culture to the skill, everything. You know, this team is confident, and we know they've got the talent to do it.
Yeah, and before the season starts, we'll have an episode kind of overlooking the entire MLB. But we just wanted to give a little Rangers preview, since that's obviously the team we're pulling for, and we're excited for the season to start. But thank y'all for tuning in this week. We will see you next week with another episode of Under Review.